This is Derek O'Foderinwa with the Medicine Shell, and today I'm going to discuss Omumu, the universe's procreative energy, which is found in all things, including yourself, and is the source of all fruition, birth, wealth, nurturing, and creativity. Without Omumu, there is no personal, family, communal, or national success. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how to harness that energy towards manifesting fruitfulness in your own life and family, according to the ancestors. Now, before I start, I want you to answer this question in the comments. What gets your creativity going? Is it being around certain people or a person? Is there a place you have to be? Is there something that you watch, read, or listen to that sparks your creativity? Or maybe an activity that gets your ideas going? It's really important for you to think about this, because by the end of the video, you should understand the spiritual reason behind it and how to use it in your favor. I'll also give my personal answer at the end of the video and wouldn't mind seeing some of your suggestions. And finally, at the end of the video, I have 5 ways to increase your Omumu that should work for just about anybody. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, or you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and like to get content on Igbo spirituality, cosmology, and culture. And most importantly, you can support this channel by becoming a patron on patreon.com/themedicineshell. My research materials and documents are available for all patrons, and it's a great resource for self-study, or if you're looking to go more in depth on specific topics in Igbo spirituality, history, cosmology, and culture. The Patreon has hundreds of ebooks, articles, and studies that range on topics that you can access as a patron. Donate what you're comfortable with. Every contribution counts. And I'm very happy to announce we officially have an in-house dibia for our patrons. A lot of you have asked for contact information for a dibia, and I didn't want to say much until I was 100% sure of the individual that I recommended. And I wanted to make sure the person was certified, reliable, and effective at their work. And luckily, I found the person, and he's willing to be a help for anybody who needs it. And so, his contact information is now available to my patrons at patreon.com/themedicineshell. With that said, let's begin. Omumu is one's procreative energy, the force within the spiritual and physical which brings things into fruition. In Igbo cosmology, one's chi, or the spark that creates you, is what gives an individual their destiny on Earth, a design by which the events of your life, spirit, body, and mind are to find and follow in order to reach their divinely ordained conclusion or purpose. In order to achieve this, your chi manifests as your ikenga. Your ikenga is your God force, your maximal self that is unlocked when you are aligned with the destiny your chi gifted you. What becomes of an individual when they walk their path fearlessly through discipline and courage, which allows you to face uncommon odds and achieve uncommon heights. But in the Igbo worldview, God is two, a divine masculine chi, which manifests itself through the ikenga, and the divine feminine, eke, which manifests through Omumu. Eke, or Neke, is the divine feminine element of the universe. She is also known as Nechugu, and is the universe itself, as all existence exists within her body. And therefore, while the chi conceives all things, Eke brings them into existence. Eke is the begetter of all being, that which nurtures all that is. You as an individual are made up of 4 elements: Chi, Eke, Agu, and Mo. Focusing on just the Chi and the Eke, the implications are as follows. Any powers that Nnachuku possesses manifests itself through you by way of your Chi, as you and your Chi are one. Like Chuku, you can conceive in existence and have an immortal part of yourself that is separate from time and space, that you can tap into regularly through things like thinking, conceptualizing, and willing, for example. Then there's a part of you that is Eke, or existence itself, whose power comes from the ability to bring inexistence into existence, and to nurture, feed, and grow. This divine power is known as Omumu. As a procreative energy, Omumu is most often linked to the process of childbirth, fertility, fruition, manifestation, creativity, wealth, and growth, guided by divine design. As the gift of the divine feminine, Omumu is a woman's fertility and ability to bring new life into the world. The word Omumu comes from the root verb mu, to birth. Conjugated into this form, it directly translates to that which births, or birthing as a perpetual process. And this appears in the biological sense, as we'll see in the following example, but also extends in the abstract sense, into creativity, wealth building, and bountifulness, which we'll cover towards the end of the video. To understand Omumu, one must understand the life cycle of a seed. A seed is produced through the Omumu of its parent. Once begotten, every seed has a predetermined manifestation embedded into its own genetic makeup, which is part of its own Omumu. This design is ultimately what the seed was brought to the earth to become. And if conditions are optimal, this design will manifest and continue to rebirth its own string of existence through procreation. The flower seed's destiny, for example, is not only to grow, but to ultimately bud and bloom, and then produce its own seed, which will in turn do the same. And now, if a person plants a seed and it grows but does not produce fruit, we can see that one of the plant's elemental powers or facets is out of alignment or missing. For reasons like this, Igbo spirituality primarily serves in problem solving. When things are not able to come into fruition, or become what they are supposed to become, or even present themselves in a natural manner, we know something is wrong. And what you'll find in this system is that most of what exists or is available and understood is in place to address or understand issues of this nature. There is little to no spirituality for the sake of spirituality, but rather this system exists to help individuals understand the tools available to them in order for they, their families, and communities to make the most of their time on earth. Understanding cause and effect in real time and empowering yourself with the spiritual science necessary to bring happiness, community, and fulfillment to an individual. And from this thinking, one of the primary ways a dibia, Eze-tier, or practitioner knows that something is wrong on a spiritual level is when things do not align as desired or designed. When the Omumu is not presenting itself in full. And if we circle back to the example of the plant, and we see that the plant is growing but is not budding or flowering, it is important to remember that Omumu and the Omumu of all things is a collaborative, sympathetic power. And I'll explain that shortly. All things in existence have Omumu. Anyanwu is the sun. She is woman because she brings light and warmth into existence. Oshimiri is water. And while she houses life within her womb, it is often said that Oshimiri or Nemiri is barren, as water does not beget more water. But the Omumu of water is vital in sustaining life once it comes into existence. We can see Ana, the earth mother, is woman because she brings seeds to fruition. And finally, Ikuku Kamosu, the Abara of wind, is woman because air gives and sustains life. The Omumu of light, water, soil, and air are also sympathetic energies. Omumu in one thing affects Omumu in another. The Omumu of fire from the Eke element warms water, and the Omumu of water from the Ori element douses fire. Which brings us back to the example of the plant. We know what Chineke wants from us because there are set conditions and energies that all things need around them in order to grow into fruition. The Omumu of Eke, which comes through sun and moonlight, must be present for a plant to grow. The Omumu of Uri must be present, which means there must be water. The Omumu of Afo tells us that it must be planted in soil, and the Omumu of Nkwo means that the plant must absorb air. When the seed takes in these energies and elements in their proper proportions as Chineke designed it to, its own Omumu will manifest as growth, fruition, and procreation. And the sympathetic nature of Omumu is seen in our everyday lives. The Omumu of persons, places, and things, and even activities has direct effect on our own. At the same time, conditions necessary for fruition vary from person to person. Some plants need minimal light to grow and are best served inside caves or at the seafloor. Some plants, such as the yam, do most of their growing and fruition underground, while others, such as the tomato, work best above ground. And as it works for the elements of nature, this concept also holds true for human beings. In ancestral thought, an individual's chi has come into full fruition once they themselves have had children, or when their own children give them grandchildren. And for this reason, death prior to marriage and procreation is seen as unnatural. Premature death is therefore linked to something otherworldly, such as Obanje spirits. At the same time, spiritual and cosmological education begins once an individual has had children, as they are seen as a fully actualized person on a physical and social level, and because the value of ancestral wisdom is in passing it to the next generation. But Omumu also manifests beyond childbirth and existential fruition. If an individual's chi conceives a business idea, academic path, or artistic pursuit, the full fruition of the individual's Omumu in this regard means that the undertaking will reach the successful manifestation that Chineke ordained for that particular spark of inspiration. As Omumu is the energy that nurtures a spark to full actualization, it can also be linked to less grand manifestations. A desire to get out of bed that is matched with an inability to do so is linked to an unhealthy Omumu, as is stopping short of a limited objective, especially one that you set out for yourself. A general lack of success in life is often a sign that an individual is not moving in direction that their chi ordained for them, and can indicate an Omumu that is out of alignment or unhealthy, as the destiny of all things is to enjoy life in full. Failure and success when linked to Omumu works with the same sympathetic principle we see in the plants. A person who is around failure or indulges in related thoughts and feelings will be influenced by it, as is the case with a person who is around success. And from this, we see that one of the principles in maintaining a healthy Omumu is to be around what you want for yourself. A person who wants life must avoid death. A person who wants love must avoid hate. A person who wants to be strong must avoid the weak. And it's because of this principle that the ancestral altar, for example, or the chi altar, will feature the things that you want around you or activated within yourself. Why images and devotionals to ancestors will fill you with their spirits. And why some cities build statues or dedications to certain people in their history and cultural lore. It also explains why some persons, places, and things spark fruitfulness within you, while others take it away because they themselves are void of it. It is also important to remember that the Omumu and Ikenga work in conjunction. While moving with your chi will not remove obstacles, challenges, and difficult feelings associated with moving towards your destiny, the path of your chi is the path that will arm you with the Ikenga and Omumu necessary to meet and overcome these barriers. Often, moving in the direction of your chi will even court more opposition, which often results in individuals fearing their path. But if an individual makes the decision to become what they were born to become, Omumu and Ikenga ensure that the power and providence necessary to be victorious is in both hands. Ikenga is the power to do, while Omumu is the power to create and become. And both are in the right and left hands of an individual who accepts their path and knows themselves in full. Individuals, particularly our ancestors, approach the elemental spirits in large part to receive the fruits of their Omumu. In fact, collecting from this well of energy is the primary purpose Igbo began seeking a relationship with the forces of the universe. Among all the Arishi, the Omumu that is central to the survival of people and families is Omumuala, the Omumu energy of the Earth Mother herself, an energy source for Omakwala, the womb of the earth, which is the source of her wealth, and keeper of the energy that allows crops, families, and nations to grow, the source of all fertility and the womb of Nechuku, the divine feminine, as well as the throne of power for feminine energy in the universe. In Igbo cosmology, the universe we know today began with Chi and Eke, and when Eke died in a great explosion, her body became the universe, while her spirit and essence resurrected as the earth. And therefore, in the pantheon of planets and celestial bodies in our galaxy, it is only the earth whom inherited her Omumu, or Omumu Nechuku, the Omumu of Eke, differentiating her from all worlds. It is because of this that, according to our ancestors, before man and woman was earth and sky, and from the earth grew two anthills, or two mounds of sand, equal in height and weight, which sprouted from Aquali, the womb of the earth. Above the earth was Amadioha, in his manifestation as Igwe. Amadioha is the manifestation of Chukwuzi Kenga in the realm of existence. From above, Amadioha is the protector, judge, and keeper of divine order, protector of the divine mother and their children, guardian of justice and keeper of the innocent and righteous. And it was from above that Amadioha struck both mounds with bolts of thunder, and from there the sands began to shed. Each mound revealed a human, one man, one woman, brought into existence at the same time as extensions of sky and earth. And with that infusion of life, humanity began on that day. And from our emergence from Akwala, the Omumu of the earth, we get the multi-layered phrase, O maka Omumu ka anyị biri n'ụwa, or Omumu is the reason we exist in this world. As reflections of sky and earth, Omumu is most visible in the pregnant woman, as the womb is seen as a woman's seat of power and evidence of divinity. In our ancestral physiology, the relationship between sky and earth also manifests in the configurations of our bodies, which is important to know if you're studying ancestral medicine and even ethics governing fashion. Our ancestors saw everything from the chest and above as reflections of sky, or Igwe, and everything below the chest as reflections of the earth, or Ana. And this is seen in how honor and achievement is displayed on the body. For example, an individual who is one with Anyanwu, or the sun, is seeking a journey of godly enlightenment. To signify the beginning of this journey, Iche marks are placed on the forehead, which is physiologically linked to the sun, most specifically Abala, the rays of the sun, which manifests as the forehead on the human body. Meanwhile, if a woman gives birth to over 10 children, or brings success to her family, self, and community, she is awarded by her people with the honor of wearing Odoku, ivory braces to signify her status as a titled woman, as well as wrappers, reserved for titled women. to venerate her and her Omumu. And this is one of many ways to venerate the spirits. And by exploring the other methods, we learn how to channel this energy for fruitfulness in all spheres of life. To honor and channel Omumu, individuals establish devotionals to the energy designed to serve as a regulator for human use. In communities, the establishment of shrines to Omumu have proven to be successful on a consistent basis, and many of which have become Arishi of their own, famous in their community and beyond. For example, Arobinago, an Arishi built to channel the Omumu of the earth, has proven not only to be successful in aiding in the birth of children and the proliferation of a community, but also in keeping and generating wealth for generations of its patrons, and crop abundance in communities with Arobinago shrines, or farmers and businessmen with Arobinago shrines in their homes. Today, the most visited Arishi in Igbo land is Ogungu, located in Okija, a shrine specifically designed for channeling the Omumu of the earth. And these two examples are no exception, as Omumu generators often grow to become the most popular Arishi in communities that host them due to the fact that wealth, success, fruitfulness, and continuity are primary reasons Arishi are built in the first place. For this reason, Omumu also bears the titles Mo Ego, the spirit of money, and Mo Akonoba, the spirit of wisdom and wealth. For a community, channeling Omumu comes in building altars known as aquali. These complexes also go by the names of Oda and Ekwo, depending on what parts of Alibo you are located in. Aquali is typically a cone, mound, hill, or conical step pyramid of red earth, simulating the earth womb that the first man and first woman emerged from. The mound-shaped structure is recurrent when channeling feminine energies, as it represents the belly of a pregnant woman. Famously, the Insude pyramids, which were destroyed in the colonial era, feature the same pattern of complexes for veneration of the earth, or Ana. The Insude pyramids and pyramids like them throughout Igbo land were step pyramids built in pairs of twos to symbolize the earth, which gives with both its left and the right hand at the same time, and sites for veneration and channeling of Omumu. In antiquity, the matriarch of the Aka people, a powerful woman by the name of Nome, commissioned the building of Aquali in Aka to channel Omumu from the earth. This project was to be done upon her death, and was to bring children and fruitfulness to Aka for generations to come. For it to be done to the highest standards of the time, she sent emissaries to Idoma land to hire the finest medical experts of the time. These people were known as Akbutus, and upon arriving, they built Aquali, Oda Omumu, Umuoka, an Omumu generator for the Aka people. And like Arobinago, which I mentioned earlier, Aquali Umuoka surpassed expectations, as it was built on the site that she was buried, and channeled her feminine power into the wombs of Aka's women and coffers of Aka families. Till this day, practitioners in Aka venerate the Arishi and celebrate Imoka every year in her memory. And in fact, upon seeing the immediate results from the Arishi, the Abutos from Idoma were not allowed to leave, for fear that such power can be unlocked for rival communities. As a result, their descendants remained a part of Aka till this day, in the Aka village of Amachala, and veneration for Omumu, or the building of Aquali, goes beyond the community focus, as individuals and families also build Aquali to venerate Omumu for themselves. When a man builds a home and marries a wife, often he'll invite dibia Omumu, or a dibia who specializes in the birthing process, and the Omumu energy, to build Aquali for his family. As a result, a mound of red earth is built at the front of the house, a deliberate position which indicates the value of Omumu and ancestral thoughts. When the woman or women of the home are pregnant, visitors will first thank Omumu by leaving a gift at the Aquali in front of the house, or by saying the phrase, Aquali ainge buchiganging hedemma, mo Omumu, iga batakwa, our Aquali will beget good things. Spirit of Omumu, you will enter. The personal Aquali is also sustained by a sacrifice of hens and a pouring of libations. Beyond the physical space, Omumu is the energy that brings all things to fruition, and this includes ideas, thoughts, and intentions, which all require Omumu to manifest. And therefore, when there's a negative intention aimed towards a family or an individual that hosts an Aquali, the altar can neutralize the Omumu of the associated bad intention and keep it from coming in your direction or coming to fruition. And often individuals go to Omumu shrines such as Arobinago, Imoka or Ogungu, as well as their personal Aquali, to ask for protection. This also applies to neutralizing forces behind birth complications and protecting the life of a pregnant woman before, during, and after the birthing process. Aquali can also neutralize witchcraft or spiritual work done against you from as early as the planning phase, as well as assuring that your plans, creative sparks, and inspirations come to fruition once you choose to pursue them. If the Omumu spirit is effective, as is most often seen in the successful birth birth of a child, individuals will seek to gain from its sympathetic energy by visiting the mother or giving thanks to the aquali or maternal shrine of the new mother's ancestral home. The sympathetic nature of Omumu is also seen in the syncing of period cycles for women who spend a great deal of time with each other, and is a major reason why women are prohibited from seeing masquerades that associate with death, war, or violence, most strictly if a woman is pregnant, as pregnant women are prohibited from seeing masquerades as a whole. And for a similar reason, during child delivery, men, most specifically the father, are typically stationed away from the operation. Now, when I try to look into this, I was told that it is believed that the baby would be embarrassed to see that it has a father. And I had no clue what that means, but I'll take it. It's whatever. Like a child, the Omumu spirit is infinite in possibility and defined almost purely by the fact that it is the personification or deification of potential itself. When an individual is unable to create or to bring creative seeds into fruition, it is also seen as the byproduct of a weakened Omumu. And like the aquali, which is built to channel Omumu, creativity is fed by being around and exposed to more creativity, or the Omumu of works, spirits, actions, and individuals that we often call inspiration. Omumu is potential itself, and potential is the source of all creative work. So how does an individual care for their own Omumu? You know, when I make these videos, I always hope that anybody watching can apply them practically or apply what's being taught practically. And I think Omumu is a great topic for showing how to do so. If Igbo cosmology links childbirth, the growth of a plant, and creativity together, the lesson that can be learned is to see the parallels within and learn from one by looking at the other. So here are 5 examples or 5 ways I personally tend to my own Omumu and maintain my own creativity. Number 1, do the work every day. I'm a father and I have a small garden, and both experiences with Omumu and 2 spheres have taught me that whatever is needed from me in order to see growth is usually small, but whatever it is, it has to be consistent. Behind every creative process, there's something that needs to be done every single day, or something you can do every day to take things a little bit further, whether you're feeling down, you're feeling up, whatever it may be. Figuring out what you can do every day to advance things forward, or to feed the idea or concept, and doing it in a cyclical manner. And the sympathetic nature of Omumu thrives under consistent circumstances. Creativity doesn't always come in a grand flash or a big inspiration. Sometimes it's little nicks at the project and consistent little actions that get things going. Number 2 is anage amucha nwata amucha, which is a phrase from our ancestors that says, you never finish birthing a child, or the work itself never ends. And from this, I learned not to think of a creative endeavor as something with a finish line, rather a permanent and personal lifestyle choice. Any finish line imposed on work is subjective, and sometimes the finish line is what stops an individual from crossing the starting line. For example, the Udara tree is seen as a manifestation of Omumu in tree form. And Udara grows, sprouts fruits and seeds, and then it drops and forms new trees, or what would appear as new trees. Every phase of this cycle is preparation for the next, and it makes it hard to say when the process ends. You can draw a finish line at fruition, but fruition itself is preparation for that next phase. And if you take off the finish lines and see it for what it is, you realize it's a single genetic fiber continuing itself through time. In the method, it knows best. A tree never stops growing if we understand that the seed is also a part of the tree, the way a branch is a part of a tree, and what sprouts from it also an extension of the original tree and trees before it. Now, I believe creative work applies under the same principle. Something an artist always eventually learns is that your finished work is not as important as the work itself, and that as an artist, your works are really the results of a cyclical work ethic that so happens to produce new work. The ultimate goal is to make productivity and growth a lifestyle, to master the process and keep it alive, because everything else falls in place after that. Let the process be the masterpiece, because the process itself never ends, and see projects as means to doing more work, rather than work being a means to doing more projects. Everything that survives in this universe is cyclical. Number 3 is creativity is contagious. The company you keep has an effect on what happens within. A writer has a lot to gain keeping the company of writers. Entrepreneurs, the company of entrepreneurs. Athletes, the same. parents, and even bachelors, all the same. And not to say that everyone should box themselves off to people who are doing what they're doing or who are exactly like them. But Omumu is a sympathetic energy, and it's best to stay around the people whose Omumu is doing what you want yours to do. You'll be surprised how much your ability increases in the company of the able. I think one thing I'm going to try to do more in 2021 is collaborate with more YouTubers and teachers to see where it takes my own ability and knowledge. And at the same time, the way pregnant women are advised to avoid masquerades as they carry the spirit of death, I'm going to be mindful of those whose Omumu is producing things I don't want for myself. Number 4 is follow my chi. Your chi is the part of you that gives you your destiny and sparks you into existence. Your chi has a path for you, and by following that path, you become one with your chi. And when you're one with your chi, its powers become your powers. From my chi comes my ikenga, my ability to do, and Omumu, the ability to beget. And the most effective way of making sure that both things are activated and on your side is to move according to purpose and bliss. Now, I've made a video on the chi, explaining what the chi is, and I gave 5 steps on how to know what your chi wants from you and what your path is. So I'm going to put the link below for those who are interested in knowing more. And number 5 is to be generous. Giving belongs to Omumu, or the world of Omumu, and nothing attracts an energy better than embodying its nature and attributes. Genuine generosity is a major key in manifesting more for yourself. The divine feminine desires to feed her children, and by becoming one with this purpose, I have faith that she'll provide me with what is necessary to continue serving others. And that's it. This is Derek O'Foddernois with the Medicine Shell. I want to give a big thanks to everybody who's watching. If you're interested in Igbo spirituality, history, and cosmology, go ahead and subscribe. Hit like and the little bell down there. I guess it's hard for people to see the videos when they come without hitting the bell. So hit the bell. And if you want to support this channel, you can become a patron on patreon.com/themedicineshell or by sharing this video with someone you think would be interested in the topic. If you're already a patron, I have a really big announcement coming up in the next video, so stay tuned. Earlier, I asked what gets your creative side going. So if you haven't already, leave an answer below. I'd be interested in seeing what everybody has to say. As for me, for some reason, I brainstorm best when I'm alone and in tight spaces. So you might catch me in a shoe closet, thinking of how I'm going to do the next video. And the shower works as well, or inside of a parked car. And most importantly, at night. I'm a major night owl as far as creativity goes. Big shout out to the people who make this channel possible. Keisha, Kendall Bazmore, Alex Norris, Wilfred, Pop Salt and Culture, Robert Arthur, Imani London, Chief Chinyere Njoku, Kaluma, Joseph Oluchi Gooden, Nwokorie Hudson, Chiobwe, Jonas Obodoefuna, Jesse Akun, Daryl King, Nikisha Peterson, Odinaka, Naoma Obieshi, Sichuku, at Coach Joshua Alexander, Mina Uchenna, Joseph, Kwasi Densu, Remy Dior Martin, Chika, Stan, Brian Jones, Ikechukwu, Taylor Brown, Chuma Bartholomew, Uren Nakara, Tony Ateke, Sharika Regina, T.E.O. Biaya, Angelica Chinyere, Obi Everyone, Baba Wali, B, Nzadi Dinatsi, Nwaka, Mo, Na, Gerard Miller at altered.roots, Ifunaya, Malachi Lee, Sheena, Joyce, Emmanuel Bass Knight, Ife Shola Ajigunwa Bridges, Ife Tayo Ozioma, and Chetachi, Benji Omala, Malcolm from New Jersey, Joseph, Chimobi, NC Okeke, Carl, Hess, Chingwe, Candace, Cynthia Ojiegwe, Velma, Ikenga Nation on all platforms, Ike, and Sheila. There's more to come. Stay tuned.